Tap tap this thing on. I have returned. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for doing whatever you've done to hang out on the stream. It's now that time where I feel like I really need to really want to make sure that I try to introduce this game correctly to give it the justice that it deserves. This game, Mr. Bones, definitely one of the weirdest things that came out of Sega's arsenal back in the day. Unborn Apple, Vance, welcome. I'm glad you could be here in any capacity for any part of this stream because I'm having a great time spitting Saturn at everyone. So. Um, During my break, which was probably a little longer than expected, but I apologize a little bit for that. But of course, it is important to make sure uh, that I'm coming back refreshed, coming back to you with the energy that you deserve, uh, so that I can play this game and talk about it correctly. Um, Mr. Bones came into my life at a very strange time in my life. I was about 13, 14, 15 when this game came out, and I eventually was just so obsessed with its sense of humor, with the creativity that was bursting out of it, that I could probably have been considered a speedrunner for it back in the day. I could maybe burn through both discs in 2 hours or less. I'm not even sure if this game could even truly be speedrun, if nothing else, because to play Mr. Bones is to make sure that you experience every second of all the interim cutscenes that go between the various mini games that go into Mr. Bones. There are some platforming levels for sure, but then there are some levels that take a turn. There are levels where you play guitar. There are levels where you tell jokes. There are levels where you play drums in a certain way. Um, Among the many other things that go on in this game, because it's much more. This game is much more storytelling than anything. Uh, the late blues guitarist Ronnie Montrose, who I only know of because of this game, like I want to say he died only a couple years after this game was released too. Um, but he actually plays a part in one of the cutscenes in the game, um, to humorous effect. He just plays a blind guitarist who lives solo in the woods, and that is a fully valid, coherent plot point when you are an anomaly of a skeleton that has been reanimated by an evil guy's world domination plans. Um, so I'm going to flip over to here. The disc is in, the lid is open. Going to gently close the lid. Now, part of what uh, made this take a little while was that I was extra paranoid about being able to play this reliably. I knew all my other discs were okay because I'd been messing around with them the past couple of days, but I gave an extra toothpaste scrub to disc 1 of Mr. Bones here to at least make sure that the introduction of this game could be brought in. So, Unborn Apple, sorry, no elevator action. I do not have that in my arsenal, but I hope that what I bring you is going to be entertaining. Robert, I appreciate that you noticed the intentional shirt choice. Very intentional shirt choice. Oh, wow. I really haven't played Jack Squatto this game on my Saturn, so normally that's a nice little save system that you can only play the levels in which you have completed. So it looks like I get to recomplete this game here on stream for all of you. So let's start with The Great Escape. Simple intro to the platforming mechanics, among many other things, and you can play with the bones of the title screen with various buttons. Actually, I probably screwed this up already, because there is an intro cutscene that I really should have tried to play. That I really should have tried to impress here, that didn't play. So that's my bad. Maybe I should, maybe I should go completely clean. Maybe I should go make sure I mash these buttons correctly. Come on, Saturn, you can reset. What you gonna do for me? Okay, I will press the reset button to force it here. Can I boot to the BIOS? Oh, it's gonna do that. Okay. Because I was going to clear the save data from the Saturn's internal memory. That was one kind of cool thing about the Saturn, is that it had a tiny bit of internal memory for saving a couple of games, sometimes even one, depending on the game. So it eventually came to a part where a RAM cart was a good idea. I'll just open the drive tray and do it like that. Let's head over to, not there. Let's head over to system settings. Yeah, we get a nice taste of the Saturn BIOS here. Memory manager. Remove item. Mr. Bones only takes 2 blocks. Sure. There's not much to remove anyway. Backing out. Oh, you tried to be virtual highlight? Dude, that's one of the best worst games ever. Like, I commend you for trying virtual highlight, because that game is something else. It really is. Is the clock still accurate? Yes, it is. The Sony PlayStation saving, I'm not surprised that there's multiple YouTube videos dedicated to it, because I was doing some vague reading about it, and those memory cards seem to have operated on unicorn farts and the darkest of sorcery that could possibly raise the undead. It's a miracle that Sony PlayStation memory cards even work in the first place. Faster to turn while in the map. I think that's why I saw when Virtual Highlight was being speedrun at I forget if it was this past SGDQ or at HGDQ, but someone decided to run Virtual Highlight, and there was a lot of map screen spamming, to say the least, because the game was just laggy as hell. They couldn't. It was too early in the day. They didn't know how to optimize the game to save their own lives. Boom. So let's start from the beginning. The finest pre-rendered graphics that 1997, 98-ish was. 96, or late 96.
Tonight, the world will be mine.
Yeah, they actually used an actor or two during these cutscenes. He's controlling them with percussion. I don't know if that's a commentary on drummers in general.
In one single night, my army of darkness, of purity, will descend upon the earth. Then there will be no more conflict, no more struggle between good and evil. There will only be evil. The world will be pure as the black void of space. Only in absolute purity can absolute beauty be found. And the only purity there is evil.
Phantom power. I see what you did there.
Didn't I used to have more skin on these bones? Man, you know I got the blues. Excuse me, did I miss something? What's going on? Oh, I see. Nice talking to you. Somebody's messing with something he shouldn't be messing with. Now we're living proof of that. Undead proof anyway. You are an impurity. Hey, let's not get personal now. You will be dissolved.
Yeah, on Born Apple, they spread this game over 2 discs because of how decent the FMV was. So that's a big part of it. I think with VLC you can actually view some of these video files on your on a computer. I've done that a couple times before, and surprisingly, they're only like 180 by 120 resolution. It's ridiculous how small they actually are. But of course, on a CRT TV, they look just fine. But anyway, now we finally get into it. Simple chase, just so you can familiarize yourself with the basics of the basic mechanics, the basic platforming mechanics of the game. Then you can start to easily see red is bad and blue is good. Sometimes you can bait these guys into jumping at you, but I haven't fully found any context for that. So in case there's any question, if we're already talking in a speedrunning sense of like trying to glitch the level end, like fool the game into thinking the level's over before it actually is. Like maybe you try to clip off the left side or something like that. But no, it's an automatic death if you hit the left side border. So you have to auto scroll. You have no choice in the matter here. And the biggest reason that I wanted to go through the pain of playing a real Saturn for this, if only because, well, for one thing, GDQ submissions require a real console, and second of all, this game is a pain to emulate. I cannot tell you how many times that this game would randomly crash in spite of my best efforts in SSF and Yabause, and this game would just... pausing it would crash it, among other things. Getting to certain levels would just fuzz out completely in one play. So playing on real hardware is the only way to guarantee that this game will even stay stable in the first place. And our antagonist, Dagulian, he just seems like this kind of random nebulous evil right now, like he just got a hold of this random red energy. But there's a level on the second disc that actually is his biography in pictures. You get to see his entire life story spelled out. It'll be really cool, I think. I'm wondering if I get there. I may only play the first disc tonight, depending on how long this takes, especially certain levels that may require a lot of reattempts and retries. So we'll see how this goes, because there is no live system. It's you either live through a level or you die and you start from the beginning, and you have to go back back to the title screen, and that's it. Yeah, Saturn emulation did seem impossible for a long time because like the NES was cruising by, like we were all playing Nesticle on our Pentium 100s back in the day. We were all playing SNES 9X and ZSNES back in the day. It all seemed fine and dandy, and then the 32-bit systems happen, and it's like, whoa, we are dealing with an incredibly complicated chipset here, and who knows when computers will finally be powerful enough to finally make that happen. And I'd say it was probably in about the Core 2 Duo, Core 2 Quad days is when computers finally started to be just barely powerful enough to make Saturn emulation feasible. And these days, it's downright nice to play Saturn. Mednafen, I hear, has made some great strides, but I've not messed too much with that one yet. For some games, I'll stick with Yabause, and some games I will stick with SSF. Actually, Yabause I was forked into Yaba Sanshiro. FPGA emulation is pretty brilliant. I should not have grabbed that skull. FPGA is brilliant because FPGAs are this essentially a blank slate of operations that you can tell. You can tell various parts of those transistors to behave in a certain way and process things a certain way. Maybe you consider it as and honestly I'm not great at understanding this either, but I'm just trying to translate it into what little I understand right now. But we think of like there are tons of ASICs out there, application specific. I'm sorry, DSPs. Sorry, not ASICs, DSPs, digital signal processors that are dedicated to one thing, whether it's a DSP that's dedicated to MP3 playback or video playback, something like that. Like back in the day, we had dedicated MPEG-2 decoder cards so that our puny little computers could play DVDs. And in FPGA emulation, you have this bundle of blank slate transistors that can be told to do whatever you want them to do. It's a fully programmable gate array, so thus all those gates can do exactly what you want them to do. They can process instructions in a certain way. You can tell it, okay, do things like a 6502, do things like an AMD K6, do things like whatever you might call it, what would the word be? Oh crap! I gotta reset here because I hit start and it's putting me back there. Take the FPGA, make it do what you want. It doesn't have any specific rules. It is your blank slate for calculating and timing. It doesn't have to be enslaved to being an x86 chip. It doesn't have to be just a PowerPC chip. It doesn't have to be an ARM chip. It is its own beautiful thing. And I used to totally crush this level back in the day, but this one just destroys me now, and I don't know why. In emulation, it's worse because sometimes these skeletons don't behave in the correct fashion, and they kind of glitch out. And sometimes you think you're not going to be hit, and then they hit you, and it's frustrating. So you'll notice my life bar at the top right, and it's a life bar, and it's a little bit more because you may see a blue highlight appearing around that, and that blue highlight happens specifically when I mash the A button, and that you're going to get hit. And you're going to lose bones because your skeletism, that's the game's word, your skeletism is getting weaker. And you can temporarily regenerate your skeletism by mashing the A button to magnetically draw your bones back to your frame. So mashing the A button is not a perfect replacement for a life bar, but it's but at the same time, it's also a way of compensating for when your life is low. And this is your only method of defense as well, is the B button. The B button, which lets you use a beam to suck in skeletism from enemy skeletons, and damn it, you assholes! You suck in skeletism, convert it to your own blue skeletism, and you need arms to do it. But I'm trying to stay away from the other skeletons that were hanging out. Okay, whew. Wow, that wasn't so bad. I really wonder if playing on an emulator was the real, was what was really shitting up my time with that level. Because I used to just be able to play. I used to play these levels just zoned out, casually. My hands were on autopilot. Now this part here, a bit more of a traditional platformer. This is just making my way further out of the valley. So there was the escape. There was the mausoleum where I was getting attacked in a very roundabout, rhythmic way, which is the real prevailing theme here. Uh-oh. Oh no, he stole my leg. Don't steal my leg. I need my leg. And then sometimes your limbs will appear down in these caverns. And you get to attack the legs. Oh, no you don't. And yeah, that's one of the basic mechanics of these platformer levels is you have the means of... Oh my goodness. Ah, okay, I did that to myself. But yeah, here in these platformer levels, you just get to attack the occasional skeleton who comes at you. The enemies are just posted up. It's I should really be, aiming for efficiency, but I also want to kind of explore and refamiliarize myself with whatever's going on here. Cutout animation has a technique. That's a really good. That's a really good question. If nothing else, because, well, as we've definitely seen here, Mr. Bones is not just a complete sprite. He is several things He has several segments that act as one, and well, at the very least, that we could have seen this concept used. We did see this concept used. Damn it, lost a leg again because of these. Zombie things that pop up down here, so I'll have to go retrieve a leg later. But fun fact, in the Mega Man games, Mega Man was actually comprised of 2 sprites as a way of getting around the sprite limitations of the original NES console. That Mega Man's face was a separate sprite. Which is why when you get into more complicated scenes, you'll see Mega Man's face flicker in and out separately from his body, while the game is trying to manage sprites. So that is one aspect to it. But the cutout animation part I'd say that's probably making good leverage of the way that the Saturn's VDP-1 and VDP-2 chips work, because, well, this is what made ports of polygonal games. It made ports of polygonal games to Saturn difficult in that the common 3D rendering happened in triangles, but the Saturn decided to be weird and different. The Saturn rendered in quadrilaterals. And with quads, that works great if you're dealing with sprites as well, because sprites, by all technicalities, 2D objects with a fixed, X and Y position, and you can have, scaling. You can easily calculate scaling and rotation of the sprites, left and right, or what have you, with the VDP. And this is why you had games like Dragon Force that had a ton of sprites visible on screen at all times. And so, the Saturn actually lent itself to Mr. Bones being comprised of all these different segments. I'm having a hard time thinking of other games that went along with this, that went along with that kind of character animation. But surely Mr. Bones himself is a little bit of a technical miracle, in that he's fully modular as a character. He's not technically a 3D model, but he is several sprites strung together to act as one. bit of skeletism, don't mind me. I'm trying to recharge my bones. Literally recharging my bones. Spriter, eh? And that's why trying to treat this as a speed game is also a little bit on the hazardous side, because health in a lot of games, health management is a thing you can do. Like, you know, you can try to damage boost your way through certain things, but this game forces you to stay honest, because your ability to damage boost through this game is limited like crazy, because as you take damage, you lose pieces of your body, and there are times where you cannot complete segments of the game because you're missing body pieces. So it can end up rather frustrating to try to get through certain places quickly. And for those not terribly familiar with the phrase damage boost, it's where you intentionally take damage, and you use the brief period of invincibility or the fact that you would get knocked back from the hit. You take advantage of all that, and you can get through a certain sequence quicker just by abusing the leeway that you're given in the game. And I'm supposed to theoretically be able to... Oh yeah, I forget. If I press XYZ, I can forcefully break myself apart for certain situations. But aren't I supposed to be able to, like, grab on... I know Mr. Bones can grab onto the corners of things, but the key switch is up there. Oh, wow. But I'm supposed to be able to... Oh, there we go. Wow. That's like kind of shoddy, but I get it. Because I'm like, oh, I can't jump high enough to reach the thing, but apparently instead of resizing the background element, they just gave Mr. Bones a really freakishly large area of effect for his ability to grab onto something. You're not taking my leg. You're not taking my leg. You're not taking my leg. I don't need to hit that blue thing to... just need to get out of here. Yeah, and the catch mechanic is just accomplished by pressing jump again. Yeah, hanging onto ledges is... Oh no, did I get leg snatched? Oh my god, I got my leg snatched. Hope I find another leg soon. Oh hey, there it is. There's a leg. I don't know if it was my leg, but it's a leg, so I'll take it. And sometimes if you have too much skeletism, you can have an extra limb hanging off you. I've literally had a third leg, and wow, that jump was dodgy. That's another thing that makes this game difficult, in that some of the mechanics are weird and dodgy, like just the area of effect for being able to land on a platform. This cutscene is great. It truly starts cluing into the character of the game, I think. Mute.
I'm stiff as a wet sheet in a cold snap. You better face facts, Mr. Bones. They ain't gonna leave you alone. Some red-eyed devil's gonna make his bones tonight. Yeah, maybe I should just let him. What's that sound? Yeah, maybe there's a hotel I could hole up in. Some gingerbread house, bed, breakfast, skeleton hotel. I don't know this place, but I know that sound. But how do I know?
Is someone out there? Who are you? What do you want? No, I know someone's out there. Either come inside or be on your way.
something, do that. Make that pretty noise.
What, have you been dead for 50 years? It's called a guitar, son. Why don't you try one on for size? Don't think about it. Just play it. There you go.
The weirdness is only beginning.
Uh-oh, sounds like I'm back in serious jelly.
Are you messing with the Gullion?
The Goulian?
The man with the drums.
Yes, sir, we are messing.
You'd better hang on to that guitar. It might come in handy.
Thanks. Later on.
Somehow he's got a magic amp.
How about that? One chord and I wigged him. Now, y'all can't talk, but you can listen. And maybe even feel.
Turn my headphones up for this one. Got my backing track. Just have to hit it on beat. Didn't have to hit anything in any specific sequence.
What?
Just had to hit it on
They
beat.
don't make 'em like they used to. Good thing I've got a sense of humor. Situation like this could be downright depressing.
Night of the Bats. These levels are a little bit frustrating. They're just standard platforming. But what makes this sequence of levels, of the bat levels, yeah, your pieces are stolen, and you must start. Oh, there go all my bones. Yeah, you must start retrieving all of your all of your pieces. Oh god. Oh boy, I'm defenseless right now. Oh wait, that was a hip bone down there. Yeah, oh, rib. Never mind. Yeah, yeah. Ribs being their own separate piece is kind of funny. Oh no, I'm defenseless yet again. Um, and sometimes, yeah, you'll find pieces that they're multi pieces. They could be a hip or they could be a rib. Um, I got an arm, but the problematic part that comes a little bit later is that you're forced through these 3 levels, and at the end of 2 of the levels, you have to be in a certain configuration. You cannot have all of your bones. You must have some of your bones, and you must have specific bones at that. Um, so that makes the end of the level tactics harder. You can't just skip the levels. You can't just fully reform yourself. You have to be a certain set of pieces. Oh, I took my arm. Oh, well, there was another arm waiting to come back along with it. Just have to be really, really careful with those zombies, specifically. Zombies and the black bats. Not racist. Oh my god. Yeah, holding... That's a big finger trick right there. Holding B and then mashing A, that's a special thing to do to make this game livable. Like there are sometimes you just have to defeat an enemy. You can't cheese your way through certain things. And not all branches can be stood upon. But I am doing all I can to get through this level as quickly as possible. Oh no! I've reached the end of the level, but I have too many bones. I have hips. I need to get rid of my hips. Oh no! Go away, hips. There we go. Done. Dawn of the Bats. And then there will be Day of the Bats, too. Okay. Magic portal that only allows specific bone configurations to go through because that's just plausible. That just makes all the sense in the world. And then I also mentioned it's super stodgy to try to springboard off those branches. Like the timing for it is like it's a common platforming mechanic where if you press the jump button with precision on a spring, that you will get good height. And I've never been able to reliably figure out how to manipulate that, how to hit that. And I can push this boulder a little bit. To what end? I can't recall, but it looks like it'll... Oh, it's a skull. That's a full health restore there. That's a common thing throughout the game. Oh, it's a hip. Give me a hip. I'll take a hip back. Any more... The closer I can be to complete, the better. And just because I have full health bar does not mean the bones will auto-attract to me. I still have to mash the A button in order to attract the bones back to me by temporarily increasing my skeletism. Ah, I took an arm? Are you kidding me? I'm in trouble. Oh, is that an arm? Yes. An arm and a hip. I'll take it. And another arm? Ooh, it must be my birthday. 2 arms. I am living. Took an arm. Those rude bats. And like I have to sit here and combat these bats or else they will make my progress even worse to deal with. Don't do this to me. Good lord. Yeah, and if my energy level is too low, I can't. I take incredible fall damage because the shock of falling will cause me to shatter to pieces. It's frustrating as hell. looks like I'm not going up that high on this in this area. Anything else? Okay, I have to make my way back up. And yeah, I guess that's also weird that he, I don't know, he kind of exists in 3D-ish space by just the fact that I can crawl up ledges from the front or from the side, so the game knows that attribute for whatever platform I'm trying to stand on. Okay, gotta get back to safety. Whew, that was scary. Okay, one arm, one leg. I think I've got it. No? Oh, it's because I have two arms. One arm, one... I just need a rib and one arm. Come on, reattach to me correctly. Oh, come on. And I think there's... I don't know how the RNG works for that quite yet. Because I can't just... Like, I'd have to break myself up further. I'm gonna have to go to, like, a different surface in order to properly break myself to pieces. A different safe place to get my bones back together. Oh no. Oh no. This is tough. Oh wait, am I in the configuration I need to be? Yes. Ah, son of a... Oh, I have no hip. Thus my leg is flopping. But I'm really low on health, which is also scary. And that's what makes this game so obnoxious in certain ways. Seriously, where'd my hips go? Is that a hip? Okay, I'll take it. Yeah, I lost my arms just by falling. Okay. Now I have to keep mashing A to preserve myself. This is not fun, not optimal, but you know, I have to. These are my mistakes and these are my choices, and I have to live with them. Oh. Thanks for sticking through my struggle. Back to the start of that mess. Rolling Logs will be fun. It's relaxing. Love the music track to that one. But yeah, I wish this were 2 levels instead of 3. That would be nicer. Okay, now that I'm refamiliarizing myself with the layout here, I'm gonna try to zoom. And yes, that boom you're hearing is from the game. That rumble, yeah, don't know exactly what is rumbling, but it's in the distance and it's scary. These zombies. Damn them zombies. No! Took my damn arm. I need a hip, one arm, and one leg. Is that so much to ask for? Got an arm back. come on. That situation would have been fine if it weren't for the damn bats. That's right. Do that Britney Spears shoulder shimmy for me. Give me that. Shake those things for me. Shake them zombie titties. Okay, now I can climb on that platform. Jeez. Huh? Too short for you to hit me. Suck it. No. Coming for you. All bats. Y'all gonna die. Oh my god, all these bats are completely RNG. They're just as random as it gets. Okay, I have found a leg. I mean, maybe if all goes well, I can probably... If all goes super well, I can maybe knock this level down to like 45 seconds. I just have to optimize the shit out of it and try to keep RNG from being a factor. Because it's not... This level in particular is not truly that complex or large. It's just so many weird obstacles in my way. Okay. Let me get a second leg, be a little bit more mobile. And yeah, this game does not give a damn. It will make you jump on these tiny, tiny platforms. There's probably going to be an arm later. I'm not going to worry about losing that arm. But I do need arms to climb up, so maybe that arm was more important than I can imagine. Oh my god, these fucking bats. Can I get an arm? I think there's something interesting down here in this hollowed out log. Oh, an enemy. That's interesting, right? Give me an arm. Yes! Shimmy for me. Shimmy yourself to death. Give me what I crave. Oh, come on! Okay, now I'm whole again. Oh no! Let me feast upon you, bats. It's the least you can do for me. Oh, a bluebird. Oh, come on. Gotta start from scratch now. That was an ill-advised move. That's totally on me. But it does seem that there are certain physical positions where bats will be triggered to spawn. So sorting those out is going to be key. But right now, this is a casual playthrough. Casual-ish playthrough. As long as I can stay up here and make these blind-ish jumps. While continually mashing A. Ooh, a bluebird, please. Oh! The bones giveth and the bones taketh away. Just trying to get to the end here. Okay. No! Go figure I would find the one little crease that would ruin me. Okay. Oh no! Oh lordy. Save me. Oh. Well, he did give me full health, so he did save me in a way. Optimizing these jumps sucks. Oh, come on! I'm trying to jump to safety and then that happens to me. Fuck me. Okay. Couple bluebirds. Rescue me. Oh dear. There's a zombie down there. Maybe. Am I whole? I look whole. Yes, I'm whole. So I'm gonna proceed. Are my arms close enough? Damn it, I'm gonna have to come down here. Come on, come on, come on. I'm not strong enough. Okay, sweet. I might have just enough juice to do this. This is why health management and not getting hit, like, at all is important in this game. And with these enemies defeated, I can finally proceed. I know I'm almost to the end. I have to be almost to the end. Please, please let me be close to the end. Oh no. Oh no, you don't. You're not stealing my thunder. Oh, no you don't. I'm gonna stay safe down here, crouched, and... Oh, bless. Now for rolling logs. Another auto-scroller. Just enjoy the music. Oh, Bat's taking one last hit. The sound effects are just really gentle rumbling. But yeah, these giant lugs you would think would create much more noise. Almost done. Okay, now we're leveling out, and there's a full skull. Sure, outpost drums. Why not? So the object of this one is just paying attention to the white dots that come at you. It's not quite Simon, but it's just stay on top, pay attention, realize how those cables are connected, and also realize that there are very small windows of time that can happen. And yeah, these cables, of course, it's like trying to solve a maze at times, because you have to determine, okay, the dots are going down this certain way. You have to make sure that you manage, and you have to hold the D-pad. You can't just press and leave it. You have to hold. Woohoo!
What the? Whoa.
Now I unleash a portal to another dimension. Happens all the time.
Whoa! That's quite a backbeat I got going there.
glass shards. Because somehow, someway in this other dimension, oh man, the song in this one is good too.
The first thing when somebody realizes that wants to know what the blues is, the first thing they gotta realize is that everybody has it. Little baby, as soon as he comes out of mama and has the blues. You know, it's not a matter of not having the blues or not knowing, it's a matter of not recognizing what it is. It's just like we think that, just because somebody's got $10 million, they're happy. I can't prove this, but this is how I figure it. If prison ain't the blues, man, I don't know what is. There's been times when I've just been, just down, like they say, so far I can't see where others at. You don't know what to do with it. You can't hold on to it inside forever, or you figure it'll bust you apart. You can't let go of it to anybody because that won't necessarily do anything to fix the problem.
Routing this one is going to be fun.
Cry. Run up to think, man, he's supposed to cry, he ain't a man or something, so he takes his guitar and he just goes.
Had to bust myself up to make it through. Big bones. Oh, this one. Oh my god, this level's weird. Like if you thought stuff was weird before, oh man, this effing level. Collecting my pieces. In this direction. Guess not. Got my hips. Now I go back. Yeah, I was actually really surprised to find out that Angel Studios would eventually become part of the Rockstar Collective. Like I knew Angel Studios kind of reformed into something at some point later. I just couldn't remember what it was. But yeah, the creativity has never been short in that group. I genuinely kind of wonder if Sega or if Angel Studios owns the rights to this game. If I had a shitload of money, I would try to beg the rights holders for a remaster, because this game deserves it. Remaster or re-release, something. Just, I mean, maybe I'm serving this game justice by presenting it as it was originally intended on the Saturn. But I know Angel Studios did a ton of cool shit back in the day too, so this was a pretty prolific project. One of the many cool things that Angel Studios did back then. Two legs to go. There's technically not that much randomness to this, it's just making sure that you're hitting everything correctly. Game by Zono, huh? I appreciate that, those extra little nuggets there. Stuff that was totally just lost to my memories, because I just think of the game as a cohesive whole. So really, this game could potentially be like Abandonware. Yeah, back in the day, one game that's currently one game that's kind of in that now that because of all the messes that occurred with the rights holding to games, you're right about this being the golden era for rights holders, just in that it's a lot more clear over who owns what part. There was a small game series by that was done by Monolith Studios, the people who made Blood. Who made the Blood series. There's a lot of, I consider that one a cult classic, but the No One Lives Forever series was this great send-up of British spy humor featuring a female protagonist, but none of the rights holders claim to want to have to do anything with it anymore, and even if pressed for it, they still are really, I don't know, I guess I could say negligent. This is gonna suck. Oh. Yeah, game developers, the Quake Unreal, about 1992 to 1998, that era there was some incredible talent coming out of game studios. Just because there was no real, you could just do whatever you want. I was kind of talking about this earlier. The 90s was this incredible Wild West for video game development, because you could kind of go do whatever the hell you wanted. And if it was there was a lot of stuff that could be easily rubber stamped, because it's like, okay, it's 3D, it's plausible, you can give it a coherent story, sure, why not? Let's rock with this. And some of those turned out to be amazingly well-revered franchises, and some of them were crap. So that's the thing. You had so much creativity, but you couldn't always execute upon that creativity. So it became this really really weird thing where some people who were probably too ambitious for the era um, weren't able to get weren't able to fully get their vision truly seen to the end. But then some stuff like this, I think, are great works of art. Oh, getting my leg. Oh no, 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 no! Gently. Gently. Oh, wow.
Oh boy, I wish I had my guitar. What can you do on the moon? You can't even breathe on the moon. What can you do in this world? You can't even love in this world. You can't face the darkness, can't face the light. Can't even live in this world. You can't even love in this world. I don't know your story, ma'am. I don't even know my own. But I gotta get out of here and stop that man from doing what he's doing. Can you help me?
Vortex. Oh yeah, this one is okay. This one is avoiding things. It's like you ever play the game Tempest? It's like that in reverse. Yet again, trying to collect all my pieces. Those are just some arms. Give me some ribs. Now I can collect legs. Loving the random musical clips for what's transpired so far. It's almost like a musical doing a little bit of a second act refrain. Simple level. Dude, Polybius. Yes. I did not know they made a VR version of that. I love how Polybius just took on a thing of its own. It from urban legend to something else entirely. So that was only 75 minutes to get through the first disc. What I think I will do, I will take another break. maybe also give a little bit of toothpaste treatment to this other disc for good luck, and then I will come back and help. Maybe I will even finish this game within the next hour and a half. So thank you all for sticking with me so far. I'm still feeling really good. I think I'm going to finish Mr. Bones tonight, all in one stream. So that'll be a super treat. So yeah, time to get my stream break situation going again, and gonna give things another 10, 15 minutes here while I give the disc a treatment. All right, I have returned. I'm back. It's time to fucking crush it. We're gonna get down to the gonna get down to that second disc of Mr. Bones here, which I did not. And during my break, I did not buff this up or anything, but I believe it to be the nicer of the two discs from past experiences. So I'm just gonna give it a quick, tiny wipe with the with my shirt here. And let me flip over to the Saturn, still exactly as I left it. And let's see how this goes. So, drive door open, of course. Getting ahead of myself here. Okay. Just being excessively gentle, first and foremost, with the discs themselves, as well as the Saturn and my desk, because I'm still paranoid. And like, in case there was any doubt, there's the freaking Saturn that's been doing all the heavy lifting tonight. So, you know, give that guy a hand here. Can't remember where exactly I got it, but it's been a good replacement for my original Saturn that I had when I was younger, before the house got broken into and a shitload of stuff stolen. So, thanks, little buddy. Okay, let's get back here into the second disc. Cool part about this game is that it can and will somehow realize that I'm in the middle of a PlayStation, and yeah, it just pops right into the new level. It's good like that. And this one, another auto-scroller. Just have to make sure that I somehow... This is the part that blows, is that I somehow have to make sure that I don't hit any of the sides, of course, while the water is forcing me in certain directions. So I not only have to compensate for the water pushing me in certain directions, but for guesstimating where some of the physical objects are on this auto-scrolling situation here. So I can't hit the edges, but at the same time, I may not always know exactly where those edges are. But the game mercifully throws a few health balloons every now and then. Like sometimes you're sitting there doing just fine, and then the current cranks you in a certain direction, and you have to fight against it. So you can only pray that you react quickly enough to the current jerking you around, so that you don't hit the walls. I don't know what it is about playing on original hardware, but like I've attempted this game in emulators quite a few times, and it felt 10 times harder than what's happening tonight. So I'm feeling pretty good about being able to finish this in a reasonable amount of time. 75 minutes for the first disc, maybe 90 minutes for the second disc. I don't know, maybe less than that, because it feels like there's much less on the second disc. But some of these things, of course, are really hard, especially a thing with the T-Rex coming up soon. So we'll see how this goes. Oh, very tight corner. I think I'm close to finished here. Says you must be complete.
Do you think he's dead, Bob? Of course he's dead. Look at him. Maybe we should tie him up to be on the safe side, Bob. Tie him up? What for?
Here's your weirdness,
Dead.
Robert.
Oh, now what? Do I look like a shoe? Get these laces off me.
Oh no, Dagulian's walking bones will get no help from us. Dagulian is stealing my people. He's using them as slaves in his castle.
Little bitty slaves? Oh, that's too cruel. But I don't walk for Dagulian.
He uses arachnids. See?
Kidnapped by spiders? Oh, the weirdness never stops. I can help you. Look at me, sir. Look at my eyes.
You can stop the spiders from stealing my people?
Sure as my name is Mr. Bones. Now, get me out of this.
What?
Bit of a Lilliputian nightmare. Little People Village. Let's do this. Let's fight the spiders. I forget the requirements on this one. Like, of course, I have to catch spiders, and there's like a spider radar that appears. Yeah. Rescue all of them. And sometimes it's as simple as tripping their silk. Those are life-restoring mushrooms that are hiding that pop out of the ground. hang from up there? I've never done that before. There we go.
Thank you, Mr. Bones.
Well, don't mention it. Now, I gotta get out of here. Whoa! Careful with that leg bone, children. I'm a brittle man.
That is not Isaac Hayes.
Bones. We're carrying a skeleton to an icy lake. We carry him so carefully, he's never gonna break. Carrying a skeleton to an icy lake, and his name is Mr. Bones. Bones, 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 Bones.
Now, here come maybe the two worst levels in this entire game. The Icy Lake is an overhead platforming section of absolute terror. Just absolute madness. And the music kind of belies the danger a little bit. Guess I can jump, and that's the only thing to be done in this, because there's some insane platforming coming up in this level. Yep, yet again doing some crazy sprite and transparency tricks here with those floating chunks of ice. That they don't float on, they don't bounce around on RNG. They do definitely have patterns. Step through exactly, if I don't do this carefully, then I fall through the ice. Now, sometimes you come to this situation where you can clearly see a chunk of ice just hanging out there. Because what happens is I must jump on it to free it, and then it flows in a certain direction. And then I have to do my best. And yeah, for these other ice flows, yeah, they just go away. And I may have screwed myself by freeing that. Oh, let's try this. So I can grab some health. And that's the thing, there's nothing specifically in this level that damages you, but the level gives you health anyway. Well, I guess you can land in the icy lake like once or twice, and then you're dead. So I think I'll stand in this safe spot for a little bit while the transitionary ice piece comes back to me. And yeah, this game has a great sense of momentum, but it's a little too great, if you ask me. Gotta come at this one with some momentum. Then be very careful about where I step next. Okay, there's a hard spot. And yeah, it definitely takes a lot of time to start figuring out what's safe and what isn't. Oh boy. Yeah, see, you leap right back out, and then you could break right through the ice again. It's freaking frustrating. And the hitboxes on those safe ice flows can get really weird too. So this is a level that could probably just be charged through, but by a lot of rope memory. Really glad I put a new battery in this Saturn last year. Saturn stereo back on. For some reason, this game loves to forget that. Back to the Icy Lake. I apologize in advance. This one just might be just absolute insanity. This could be the level that breaks me. This could be the level that breaks the stream. And yeah, jumping on a safe ice floe sends it down for a moment so that it becomes unsafe and unusable. So if you do jump, you could really, really put yourself in a bad situation. Let's restore my health a little bit. Can't spend too much time running. Like, yeah, I just ran through some soft spots, but at the same time, it's because I was able to break up my time on the soft patches by time on the safe patches, and it's managing that will help one get through this level with quickness. But yet again, the hitboxes on these oddly shaped chunks of ice are stodgy. Okay, moment. And I jumped. I already fucked myself. Yeah, back in the safe spot. Oh boy. Next one could kill me. Oh man. This is terrifying. Oh, where are you taking me? Is this safe? Oh, that looked safe. Mastering that particular handoff between the moving piece of ice and the stationary one, the fact that there's an absurdly large gap, that's the tricky part. Robert, what is there a game in particular that you can remember that absolutely like you quit it, the fastest game you ever quit because it frustrated you so incredibly fast? What game made you just pack it in immediately? Gotta remember to wrap myself to the right there. Yeah. No jumping, no jumping. Don't jump or you're dead. Don't jump or you're dead. Dark Souls 2. Oh man. Freaking Dark Souls. That is truly the game that breaks gamers. How the hell am I actually supposed to do this? Because the floater doesn't go to the right. Am I really supposed to hop my way out of this? But I can't. What if I bash my way, get some momentum, and bash my way all the way to the top left? What happens over here? Oh, yes. Found a safe spot. Okay. That's a good route. That's a good route. Oh boy. Not that it'll save me, but I'll grab these tiny health ups, these tiny health orbs here. Yeah, you and your 130 hours of Assassin's Creed. Like, I know those games are large and they are intricate and detailed. I had no idea that one could extract 130 hours out of Assassin's Creed. I could see, like, just based on the surface level stuff I know, someone could extract 40, 50, 60 hours, but over 100 like that, it's completely wild to me. Okay, now I believe it's jumpy time. Oh, almost jumpy time. It's slowpoke floater time. Oh no! Jumping to safety. Because I screwed up. Because I screwed up. I should not have survived that, not one bit. No ending per se, okay. I guess kind of like a Zelda Breath of the Wild, how it has a lot of continuity even after you finish what's considered the main quest. Like there's still tons of side questing too. Oh, come on! I landed on a safe spot. Anyway. Oh dear Lord. Yes! Oh crap! Alright, this next level, similar concept, obviously, viewed from beneath, but you have to constantly run away from breaking ice. Oh, I was going the wrong direction. You have to constantly run away from breaking ice. Yeah, mercifully it just restarts you like that. You're running away from breaking ice, and you might bump. It's like one of those Crash Bandicoot rolling boulders levels, except way, way worse. Because your viewpoint is just complete shit. Yeah. Just like that. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate your support. But this Beneath the Ice Mercifully is a short one, from what I recall, so I might be able to start getting my level completing momentum back. Also, another thing that I'm seeing here, I usually do a little bit of stream delay to make sure that video's buffered correctly, and now that I'm actually like watching and timing this out, it looks like it gives you a onesie before it restarts you from the beginning if you don't get too far. But yeah, the actual stream that you're seeing is like 5 or 6 seconds behind. Okay, yeah, that... I guess maybe they make it mercifully short as a way of apologizing for how freaking close up your ass the camera is. Now this level is weird because you have to keep bashing into this button to open that door, but the shadows can harm you. Obviously, as we can see here. Yeah, super weird level. Took me a long time to master this one as well, because you're you're focused on your own character, sure, but you're also having to focus on where all those shadows are and where your own shadow is, and managing the size and placement of your shadow. Finally, someone makes a boned joke. I mean, I don't know. I may have made a couple of boned jokes previously, but yeah, you you're making this the best possible boned joke, if only because, um, yeah, it's a testament to the amount of screwed that I got here. And yeah, it's so easy to get whacked by an enemy here. Oh lordy. I'm just trying to get to my health, yeah. Just trying to open the portal. That's it. Just trying to get the hell out of here. You would think these monsters would be amenable to me trying to get the hell out of here, but no, they want to stop me from leaving. And why is there fire all of a sudden? Like, I feel like there's a cutscene that got dropped that would explain why I'm in this little fiery cavern here. One more hit on the door. Yes! Ooh. And now, I know I've said it before, shit's about to get weird. We've escalated our tiers of weird, and it's gonna go up another tier. This one I remember being able to shred because I had the timing of the monster movements down. And what happens here on Dry Moat is that we have an angry T-Rex that is chained to the walls, and you see those butterfly nuts. Yeah, those butterfly screws up there, and you have to undo those butterfly screws by jumping on his head. But every time you tap a screw, he gets angry. And yeah, but mercifully, in most cases, the way that those screws, or the way that those boulders fall, is predetermined. It's the same every time, so it's easy to dodge them. That repeating pattern I found a while ago. But there's also, yeah, you never know exactly. Sometimes you never know exactly where he's going to attack, and at the same time, the randomly falling pieces are really good at finding you. Yeah, like right now, this is super easy. Just jump, jump, duck. Well, okay, not right there, but you get it. This is indeed Mr. Bones' Wild Ride in so many ways, because he just gets caught up in so many crazy little things. This was another level that really loved to crash a lot in an emulator, so I'm glad to be playing this on real hardware right now. I think it's like 3 taps per butterfly. Then there's some part of me where I think the quote-unquote random boulders that fall down are a little deterministic. Okay, it looks like it's maybe 4. Where you can tell where the random boulders come from. Oh lordy, now this part I was never able to suss out, where he does the big roar after you knocked off a yeah, the big roar. Never figured out that one. Oh! I mean, there will literally be a wild ride coming up after this level, though. So once I free the T-Rex, then this car is theoretically perfect and good, and is not going to be reliant on major maintenance for a long, long time. You can just drive it without worrying. All nothing but 100% factory parts is truly just goodness. So yeah, I would definitely be feeling good about being in a position for a new car. There I go again, going to the left. Back up to the left, back and to the left. This is the JFK assassination, except I'm assassinating my run through this game. Oh, those quote-unquote random falling boulders alternate. It's almost like the game forces you, or it gently nudges you into alternating the screws. Broken AC? Oh man, coming right out of the factory with broken AC. That's downright that's embarrassing. I don't know how the sales rep would even have like figured out how to talk about that. Like, was that like their dumb bitch model? Their model, like, okay, this is the one. Like, why even use that one as the test drive? They should be using the most expensive one on the lot as their test driver. Yeah, because today was freaking brutal. I had to be outside today. Today was absolutely savage weather-wise, so don't blame you one bit on the unfun test drive. Yeah, no, yeah, obviously they were perplexed, but at the same time, it's like, whoa, maybe they should have tested the car before they tested its test drive viability. And screw off. This roar, I think, is... yeah. Okay, that one was nice. Oh, come on! There we go. Oh. That one's still needed. Okay, one more tap on the left screw. Be free, and let me survive this last onslaught of things. And he's free. You think I'm gonna get attacked? Oh no, it gets weirder.
Liberty is a sweet thing to savor. I do hope you'll forgive my aggressive and extremely rude behavior. My imprisonment made me somewhat testy, I'm afraid. Now, hop on. And hold on tight.
So this next level... This next level is not going to offer that much mechanics-wise. It's a boring auto-scroller. But it does do one important thing. One, we're busting into Degulian's headquarters. But two, we are going to learn, through pictures, the life of Degulian. From birth to current day. As solemn music plays, as a hollowed-out shell of what was once a grand cathedral sits upon us rotting to this day, we see the birth of our Degulian. Sweet boy came into this world, but his sweetness was not to last, because Degulian had some evil resting within him. It started so simple. As a child, his mother would take him out to pick from trees to enjoy the sustenance of nature. But our little Degulian went through a weird set of childhood curiosity. When he started experimenting on dead animals. He wondered, could these animals perhaps be brought back to life? Is that a possibility for the dead? What does it mean to be dead? Oh no. Someone from the town did not approve one bit of Degulian's activities. He was messing with things that he did not understand. So Degulian was sentenced to be cast off, just as but a teenager. Degulian rebelled upon being exiled from all that he once knew and held dear. So he doubled down on his experiments with the dead and the living. He was able to do so by finding an abandoned cathedral. Degulian grew up and only refined his experiments further, using human remains instead of just animals. And through his experiments in solitude, Degulian grew ever more successful with his evil concoctions. Through the church we go. Through time. Through all that we knew, Degulian kept growing and growing his skeleton army. With one particularly successful one, made up of refuse and scrap, animated with the purest of horror. And then Degulian was able to raise the dead right from their graves. Up his army came to serve him through the night, and eventually to take over the entire world with nothing but the purest of evil and darkness. He pulled in little people to be his slaves by using arachnids to do his bidding. And then perhaps, with these slaves doing his labors of raising the dead, he could take over the world. Thanks, T-Rex. You did a lot. Yeah, so it's like this, and then like 2 more levels, and well, there's this level coming up right now. Oh yeah, got sucked into the skeleton generator. This one is just straight up asteroids. It's pretty decent. But it's got a bit of weird momentum to it. In that I'm constantly spinning, and I'm constantly having to convert these red blobs of skeletism into blue blobs. And hopefully can refill my own blue skeletism. Yikes. Gotta be careful where I'm aiming that thing. Oh no! Crash into a red skull. Nope. Kinda gaining the upper hand here. Kinda. skull is scary because it's a homing missile. Put him up to bone. Oh, hey. I just realized I can control my rotation a little bit with the L and R buttons. How about that? Oh boy. I thought I was just kind of flying by the seat of my pants with my momentum here, but turns out I do have a little bit of control over where I'm firing here. This is good to learn. I mean, it was probably something that I knew long ago, and this is actually the only time in the game that I can recall the L and R buttons being useful in the first place. So that's one of those kind of, I don't know, unexplained mechanics where a game will allow you to do something, but you never even figured it out before. Kind of like how in Sonic 3, those cylinders in Carnival Night Zone, how you had to press up and down to manipulate them. Oh man, my D-pad thumb, my left hand is not liking this, not one bit. Because I can't leave until I get a full bones meter. And so I'm just kind of in purgatory here. I thought I was on a good clip. Oh, come on, random skull. And of course, the amount of energy benefit I get is entirely dependent on how quickly I can get to the blue speck after I blast. So it's really, really frustrating. Thanks for stopping by, Nick. I appreciate you very much. You are awesome. Oh, I lasted long enough for the game to just say, "Here, get out of here right now." Oh, totally forgot about that level.
Party is getting rough.
But now coming up is maybe the best part, maybe the best level in the entire game. I need to start creating notes on how this level functions.
This cat is serious. What he needs is an attitudinal adjustment.
Because this next level is it's stand-up comedy, literally telling jokes. I crank the volume a tiny bit for this one.
Why did the chicken cross the road, roll in the mud, and cross the road again? He was a dirty double crosser.
It's entirely random which joke will come up and what buttons you have to press to activate the phrases.
And the other blue, there were two at last report. One was they collided. There were two ships. One was painted red, and the other blue. They collided. At last report, the survivors were marooned. These two you can't have your kayak in heat, so they've proven once and you can't have your. These two Eskimos in a kayak were freezing butt cold. You can't have your. These two Eskimos in a kayak were freezing butt cold, so they lit a fire in the boat and it sank, proving once and for all, you can't have your kayak and heat it too. A mushroom walks into a bar. The mushroom says, the bartender says, a mushroom walks into a bar. The mushroom says, why? I'm a fun guy. A mushroom walks into a bar. The mushroom says, why? I'm a fun. A mushroom walks into a bar. The mushroom says, a mushroom walks into a bar. Hey, we don't serve. A mushroom walks into a bar. The bartender says, hey, we don't
Yep. You can only miss like twice on
A
this.
mushroom walks into a bar. The bartender says, a mushroom walks into a bar, sits down, and orders a drink. The bartender says, hey, we don't serve mushrooms here. The mushroom says, why? I'm a fun guy.
Yeah, 5 out of the 6 buttons, and it's completely random. It's horrible.
You
Horrible.
want to make a zombie's shine a flashlight, eyes light up? You want to make a zombie's eyes light up? Shine a flashlight in his ear.
I was lucky that was just 3 segments.
To turn the drive into the ditch. Drive and to turn the blinker off. Why did the zombie drive into the ditch? To turn the blinker off. The knock is out of time. How do you know when a drummer is knocking at your door? The knock is out of time.
They really hate drummers in this game. One more.
And robs banks. Al, what's purple and robs banks? Al Kaplum.
Thankfully, I didn't die on this one. Now I think the next level is the last one. It's a really nice and simple one, too.
It took me hundreds of years to make this night possible. I even prolonged my life with vampire blood.
But what have you got for it besides 1,000 acres of stony lonesome?
A canvas of black. Who'd have thought one little white speck would ruin everything? Me. But I see red skies ahead now, Mr. Bones.
Thank you, ma'am. That's exactly what I need.
We're about to see how magical this guitar is. Yeah, and for the final level, the mechanics of this one are surprisingly simple. You just have to have a fast reaction time. That's about the end of it. Yeah, not fast enough, obviously. And you have to be holding a button, which I could not immediately remember which button was the right one to press. So, this next attempt will go a lot nicer. Promise. Because, yeah, you have to absorb, and then you have to blast it back. And then you'll have an ending. Yes! Now we kick back and relax and enjoy the ending.
Gotcha. Oh, now we ain't gonna go through all this again now, are we?
What do you expect to extract when you stick a pipette into the heart of darkness? Puppy dog tails?
Excuse me, but didn't you say you had vampire blood?
Shut up! I'll turn you into toothpicks and give you to gluttons who eat nothing but gristle.
Behind you, man!
What's the alternative to evil anyway? Good? Ha!
Excuse me, but the sun?
Show me a good man, and I'll show you a hypocrite. Show me a hypocrite, and I'll show you evil waiting to happen. And I waited long enough. Centuries. The night belongs to me.
The night's over, man.
The long red night has just begun.
I hate to break it to you.
What?
Not much of a listener, was he? She has no body, and I have no skin. Ho ho! It could work out. It could happen.
And roll credits. And now a few of you have come together to join me on this journey of reliving in its entirety in one sitting, no less. I was not expecting to do it in one sitting. I felt like there was a bit more to it. But no, that was the extent of it. I think this may be the one point where I take one of my Twitch VODs and cut it down so I can sync it on YouTube, so I can have a complete playthrough of this game. Because I had a good time with that. I had a really good time with that again. And now to figure out just a few of the optimizations, make sure technical support, Mark Adan, that's right. But especially to try and optimize a few things. Make sure that certain levels are done in as few cycles as possible. The T-Rex, for example, I could probably... I was damage boosting my way through the Shadow one. And then the auto-scrollers, you just have to deal with auto-scrollers. So I ended up completing this game, let's see, 9, let's see, I played the first disc from about 8 to 9:15, and then 9:30 to 10:45. Wow, okay. So I guess I ended up completing this game in equal 75-minute segments. Okay. So 75 and 75, hour 50, 2.5 hours. I should reasonably be able to get that down to an hour 45, as long as I can make sure that I can mechanically get that down to get all the technique down. And the stream's ending, right about 11, which is where I wanted it to end. So, my dreams are coming true. Instrumental beings. I mean, all things considered, relatively small crew for creating this game. As complicated as it was. Lots of testers, though. Always lots of testers. There's a lot of weird shit to test. And there it is. That's the end. We're probably going to cycle back to the title screen here, but I want to thank any and all of you who stopped by the stream, who are currently watching now, who stayed to the end, who stuck through it with me. Um, wow, this is a good, solid, technical difficulties aside, after I streamed for like 10 minutes, a good, solid 4.5 hour stream. Felt really good all throughout, even though a half hour of that was break time. Let's be honest. Um, so yeah, might be time to raid. Who do I want to raid? Who deserves a little something here? Um, let's see. Got my guy Alex, who's playing World of Warcraft, and then there's Daisy, who's playing Call of Duty. Got some choices out there, and actually it's really more of a coin toss. Then there's, let's see, there's one more, but anyway, time to wrap this up. Many thanks. You'll probably see Mr. Bones again in the future. I'll probably play it again on Halloween. And maybe offline I'll probably be doing a lot more optimization. Trying to make sure that I put something out, that I figure out something to stream on Tuesday. I'm kind of leaning towards some more N64, but I might bust out the Wii U. But maybe there's also some room for, because I know I do a lot of medleys, but there's also room for single game streams. But I have to feel right about those single game streams. So there's a lot to think about. Anyway, gonna go ahead and wink out into oblivion. Maybe I won't. Maybe I won't raid. I don't know. We'll see how I feel. So thanks for watching. Stay lovely.